name is Eggy Drago. I am the cream of the crop. I am the yolk on top. It was in early 2024 that I decided to go to an idol show in Japan on a whim because my graduated VTuber Oshi really liked idols. Needless to say, I got hooked. I think we like idols. After I met and talked to two English-speaking idols there, Hyria, Haigumi, I realized every single idol has a story, be it why they chase this dream, their ups and downs, and even their future after all this. And that's what I'm here to do, to give idols around the world a spotlight beyond the stage and a place to tell their story. Every idol has a dream and a story to tell. This is IDOLEYEZ.
Here comes a new challenger!
Last appearing 2 years ago on episode 3, Alex Pinku returns for an encore to talk about their newest album, In Silence, helping organize events in the DMV in Idol Gateway, and their duo work in Flare. All eyes on me. IDOLEYEZ, episode 100, Alex Pinku. Overlay now. Whoa, hello, howdy, oh my god, we're here. Oh my god.
Oh my god, we're here.
I am the cream of the crop. I am the yolk on top. This is Mighty Eggy Drago with IDOLEYEZ, episode 100 with our special guest for tonight. This is someone who last appeared on episode 3 way back in June 2024. They are the #1 Oblivion fan of all time. They are the #1 fan of Interview with a Vampire. They are one half of Flare. This is Alex Pinku.
Deep cuts.
Deep cuts.
I also forgot that that's your intro. I always forget, and then I laugh every time.
It's just random stuff, but howdy.
Hello.
Pinku, Alex. Pinku, Alex. How are you?
I am doing well on this lovely, warm summer evening. How are you?
Burning. It is
Yes.
90 degrees here in Nevada, but you know what?
We're burning with our love of idols.
Yeah. United by burning love. But yeah, it's been a while since we had you on. Been a while since we talked one-on-one. So it's special
Good to see you
100.
again.
Good to see you again. Yeah. A lot has changed. A lot has happened in the past 2 years, so might as well talk about
True, I'm blonde now.
You're blonde. I remember. I think I asked for an IDOLEYEZ intro video way back last year, and I still have that. And that was I think like right after you dyed your hair blonde. So
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I should have used that. Oh no. Oh, well. But yeah, nice to see you. Nice to have you here again. Yeah. Honestly,
Yay.
it's cool, but we have to start things off with a mandatory government mandated ad read from WSF, What a Sense Frontier is, as this show is sponsored by them. Founded in 2025, What a Sense Frontiers is an event production organization dedicated to running quality Japanese idol culture-centric events throughout North America. WSF's team is made up of dedicated event runners who put the growth of J-pop style idol culture, not their bank accounts, before everything. So, yeah. I mean, last episode 3, we talked about your origin story. Shout out Pinku Project. I think that, no. Yes. And then what went on back in 2024? We talked about your first couple original songs. We talked about, God, that would have been way before Northwest Idol Fest.
I should have gone back and watched it.
I should have watched it too, to be honest. But I think Flare was just starting. You guys were starting to put out teasers for the, I guess, like group photos. But yeah, now we're here. 2 years later.
Now we're here.
Flare's a thing. Your new album's a thing. Idol Gateway's a thing. So let's start things off with like the biggest topic, which is the newest album, full album, In Silence.
Full album.
So that was released back in March 2026. What sparked the idea to actually create a full album instead of like a EP?
Um, I think from the time I originally released No Thanks to You, I knew that I wanted to do an album. I love writing music. I had been writing music like long before I released No Thanks to You. I had like 3 other original Idol songs that never saw the light of day. It's something I had like continuously been trying to do. And I love concept albums. I love like getting to tell a story through like an entire project like that. In a lot of like Western artists that I admire, that's like some of my favorite projects. So it's something I always aspired to, but writing music and making music is like a very expensive hobby. So it took a long time, but we did kind of get there in the end, as we can tell by the fact that it is finally released. But yeah, I think like from the get-go, I knew it was something that I really wanted to do.
When did you first start working on it? And then from that to when you finally released it, how much time did that take?
I think the initial conception of the album itself started while I was writing One More Night.
Oh, that's a while back then.
Yeah, I think that was when I first started to think about like, okay, how are these songs gonna sort of tie together? What am I aiming for? And actually, one of the only things that still survives as far as like, and I know you are gonna ask me about the concept of the album, but that survived from those days is like one of the things that you can see in the visualizer of the YouTube video is that it's like the cycle of a day. I knew I wanted to write something that like goes through an entire day cycle for a variety of reasons, and like that stayed. But I think a lot of one of the things I love about writing music is like as you write it, it kind of takes on its own life, and what you set out to write is not necessarily always what happens at the end. So definitely like as the tracks developed, the overall like concept and story, and like I mean it's been I don't know, when did I release No Thanks to You? Like 2020.
2021? Yeah. That's when the MV
Yeah,
came out.
so you know, it's been 5 years. I think a lot of my life has also changed. There's a lot of like personal development and like things that I realized and went through during that time that like very much influenced how that developed. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, full album after all these years, after like a lot of experiences, definitely helps with writing and working on it.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
leading into
It's definitely
that,
a very personal
very
thing.
personal. Leading into that, what would you say is the album's concept? Because like with the visualizer, it is like night to day. So can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so where I ended up with it is that there is sort of this like conflict between a personalization of, or personification rather, of like the moon and the sun. And so certain tracks on the album I've kind of dubbed as like sun songs, and other ones are moon songs, and they kind of reference each other and the relationship that they have with each other, and how that sort of like resolves itself towards the end, where like everything kind of like is okay. But how the reason why the day cycle was such a big part of it is because I think life is really cyclical. I think everything eventually kind of always comes back around, especially things and feelings that you might not deal with or be afraid to deal with. It's always going to cycle back again, but every time that it does, it gets a little easier. And so the tracks, I really arranged them very specifically to like have flow to them, and then the end of the album circles right back to the beginning. And so it can kind of be listened to on a loop, but you know, you're kind of always going to end up in this cycle of a day, but like you need the dark to appreciate the light. Like that's very much the feeling around the album that I aimed for, at least.
Going with like the concept album, not a lot of concept albums in, I guess, the idol community, and especially the Kaiga idol community.
No.
So
well, I also kind of half jokingly say that it's not an idol album, right? Like I think that idling, something I talk about a lot, is like a performance style, right? It's not a music genre. And I think especially because I have flair now, I feel a lot more comfortable exploring like not feeling so much like I have to be in the idol box when it comes to writing my solo music. That said, now that I kind of have this album out of my system, it very much felt like something I had to write before I could move on to something else. There is more like sort of surface level pop music, which I love, to that I would like to be able to write and release kind of as a soloist. But I think it is like a very, not that it can't be appreciated surface levelly, but it is, you know, it's very personal. It's something that like I think a lot of times, not that there aren't idol artists, especially like underground or self-produced idols who don't write that way, but it's not something that you would typically see in like an idol context.
Yeah, it's a rarity, but it's also like a good thing to have.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that like makes Kai Guy idols and whatnot like very special. You know, I talk about the wonderful thing about Kai Guy idols is a lot of time they pull in their own culture and their own background and combine it with idling, and that like creates like a new special thing. And like for me, my culture is like mall culture. It's emo kids, it's rock music, right? So like for me, combining that into this thing I already love is like, you know, what makes the album still has like a very Japanese influenced production style. All of the producers that I worked with like are very influenced by video game music, are very influenced by like Japanese rock music, like all that kind of stuff. So it still has that, but you know, with my edgy lyric writing over top of it.
Gotta have some like uniqueness to
Right,
the project.
for sure.
So,
Yeah.
going with that, with the album concepts, 3 of the songs were already released as singles, which were One More Night, No Thanks to You, technically, and Aurora.
Yeah.
How did you like fit these songs into the concept?
I didn't obviously write those songs with the sort of
this in
sun
mind,
and moon
yeah.
concept already in mind, but that concept came from like, you know, a personal feeling that I have, this like conflict with like, you know, warring sides of myself and like figuring out who I am as a person. And those songs were very much written with those feelings in mind, even if it wasn't exactly metaphorically presented that way. So it still seemed to fit in pretty well, I think. Aurora, I actually wrote before I. What was the order of operations? It was definitely written years before I actually released it. I actually originally released a ukulele video of it on my old YouTube channel, like years ago, and repurposed it to release as an official single. So, like that song even was like older than when it originally got released, and I still was able to kind of like fit it in. But I've always loved like nature metaphors, and that's like a very big part of my writing in general. And like so it kind of like already fit in that way.
Yeah, I was like curious on that because like they were way before the actual, I guess, the new songs.
Right.
So.
Yes, it is true.
So.
But the concept, I'll say like the concept of the album too, like very much, you know, it's called In Silence because it's a lot of feelings that I don't really talk about publicly very much. And I think that writing music has always been that way for me. Like it's a way for me to express feelings that I don't normally get to otherwise, or that I feel kind of scared to otherwise. So because that was already the way I was writing music, I think it naturally flowed with the other songs that I ended up writing that were more in theme, so to speak.
When I said No Thanks to You being like technically new, you did release.
Yeah.
It was like a 2026 version of No Thanks to You.
Yep.
Any particular reason you wanted to re-record that song compared to like Aurora or One More Night?
Well, because No Thanks to You was the first song I released, and also I felt I had improved a lot since it was originally released. I love the original version. It's the version I still perform when I do perform it, because I think that it just works so well, especially for a stage. But when the producer I was working with at the time and I like sat down to really work on the album, we were like, okay, let's do like an updated version of No Thanks to You as like a way to sort of get re-familiar with how to produce together, which was like a really great idea, I think, because it was like a track that was already written. It was something we already knew pretty well, and help us set the tone for like some of the future songs that we ended up working on. So it's sort of like a warm up for the rest of the album, but also I felt like I had improved, so I wanted to kind of show No Thanks to You in a different way. And I think that it also ended up working really well with where it's placed in the album, because I wanted it to sort of fade in from the previous track and fade out into the one after it, because I'm such a sucker for that sort of thing on albums.
I see. Yeah, because re-recordings, I don't think that's outside of like top of my head. Phoebe re-recorded Fairy Tale on her new EP, like back, but outside of that, very new, I think.
Yeah, especially in the Kaigai idol sphere. I think in Japanese idols, it's not that uncommon, especially for groups that have quite a long tenure.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when it happens in groups, well, one, it's because of improvement, or just like showing how different the group is these days versus like whatever they had originally released it. Sometimes it's because the members are different, and they want like an updated version of the song. So I don't think it's that out of place idol-wise, but I think frankly, a lot of the Kaigai idol sphere hasn't existed long enough for that to like be a thing necessarily. But I think that, you know, even when I used to do dance covers, I would recover songs like years later, and I always felt bad, like, oh, maybe people are tired of seeing this, but like it actually worked out for me, because like I just did a cover of Luka Luka Night Fever again for my anniversary, and like I had previous videos where I had done it multiple times to be able to see my growth and progress. So, you know, I think that it's like a nice thing to be able to do and like reflect on.
Yeah, especially like after all those years, like showing all the improvement that you've had compared to like the very first version. So yeah, I still like that MV, by the way.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking about it today actually, because I went back and watched the One More Night music video, because I hadn't watched it in a while, and I was like, oh, I'm still really proud of this. Like I put a lot of work into it, and I like saw the No Thanks to You music video pop up, and I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to watch it again. I want to, but like I made that music video on no dollars in a dream. And that considered, I think it's really like I am proud of it. I think that like it's got, you know, strong points to it, but it definitely, I think the standard is higher now.
I mean, still good. So
yeah. I'm still, I don't regret it at all. Like I love that I have that as like a something that I can look back on and see that version of my life, you know.
So with that, talked about No Thanks to You. So with the new tracks, were there any specific like influences, like songs or art, like other artists that had that, you know, that you had for those?
Yeah, definitely. One of my biggest influences musically, when it comes to Japanese artists, is Daoko. Between her production and just sort of like the way that she sings, she sort of moves between both like a very melodic voice and more high-paced, like borderline rap type lyrics, and that's something that I really like. And so I took a lot of influence from her music whenever I was going into figuring out how to write some of these songs. I should have pulled up. I have like playlists. Anytime I'm writing a song, I have a playlist that I like throw a bunch of songs in that I give to the producer, that I'm like, something like this, with like the concept and stuff that I want to write. And I feel like a lot of it was that I really like Scandal as a band. Also, I'm trying to think if there were any Idol ones that I did, because the first track on the album is like my most like stereotypically J-pop idol-y type song, and that was an audio that I purchased from Jimmy Memu. I don't think that I commissioned him specifically for it, so it's not like I was like something like this. I listened to it and I was like, I need this track. So yeah, it's definitely I specifically with One More Night, I remember I set out being very inspired by Perfume as well. Like a lot of their choruses are quite simple, especially in their like later half of their career. And I was like, I want to challenge myself to write a more pared back song because I tend to overwrite a lot. Like I love super wordy lyrics. I love not being able to breathe while singing live apparently and like not giving myself breaks. And I was like, okay, I want to like challenge myself to like edit and pare back and like do something pretty simple but like really impactful. And that's something that they do really well. So it's definitely like, especially the more like EDM heavy stuff is like very Yatsukata Nakata, who's Perfume's producer, inspired in a lot of that way.
Shout out to Perfume.
Yeah.
I think they're like in deep sleep, so
They are in cold sleep right now. They'll be back. They told us they'd be back, so I'm holding on.
You mentioned a few names like Jemmy and
Yeah.
but also like who else helped you with the album?
Yeah, so the first few, actually all three of my singles were produced by Kamikaze Bitch, who I worked with for a really long time. Am I making this up? I think he also did one other song on the album. I should have it in front of me and I don't. But I also worked with Pompoko in the Distance, Gabby. Love working with her. Every time I gave her a concept for something to work on, the first demo she gave me, I was like, and that's perfect. Keep going, which was so great. I worked with David Guthrie Music, who's a great friend of mine, and was really excited that we got to collab on this and put the track on the album. Actually, we were already working on a track together, and I was like, hey, can I put this on my album? I think it would fit in really well. And he was like, yeah, I would love that. So that was really great. Jemmy Mamu, who he also did both of Flair's original songs. Big fan of his work as well. So yeah, I will constantly push all the producers that I've worked with because they're just all such lovely people, honestly.
Going with that, what would you consider your favorite song that you worked on?
So because I've done it live now, well, I guess only once. I am doing it at Techo next week. Spoilers, but I have said that "In the End" is my favorite song on the album. It is the. I don't think this is a lie. I think this is the truth. The song I finished last. And something that songwriters say a lot is that like their favorite song is whatever the last one they just wrote is. And I think that's like true of a lot of creatives, right? Like whatever the most recent thing is. But also that song is very much like the like thesis statement of the album, in my opinion. It's very much like the climax of everything, and if you listen to only one song to get an idea of what the album sounds like, what it feels like, I think that is the one. When I did it at ASIN during the Gorilla Live that they had there, I really liked singing it live. I had a lot of fun doing it, so that kind of like made me fall in love with it again, in like a whole different way. But I think like that's the one that I end up listening to the most. Wait, was that the question? Yeah, favorite song to listen. Yes.
Listen to, and then also on the other
Work
side,
on?
work on. Yeah.
My favorite song to work on. I'm like thinking about when I was working on all of the songs. I think When the Summer Fades, which is the song that I wrote with David, was just so fun. It's such like a fun, like we were really inspired by like pop punk music and like trying to write like a summer jam that you can just like turn up in your car with the windows down. Hey, it's summer, now's the time to do it. But I had a lot of fun like really tapping into the emotions of that song and getting to write something that like most of the album is like emotionally quite heavy, but that song is really lighthearted and really like comes from a very positive place. So that made it a lot of fun to work on.
Honestly, I kind of like the entire album because it's so unique for
Yeah.
this community. So I just love like unique stuff.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I think there's something for everybody on it, which is kind of nice. Like it spans a lot of genres. There's like a piano ballad at the end. There's like, you know, more poppy EDM stuff. There's more like rough rock music. So I'm really proud of it, honestly.
So, speaking of the album, but like, so this album is not available on Spotify or Apple Music
true.
or anywhere except for YouTube on a audio visualizer on your channel. I know you talked about it in a YouTube short, but
I did.
might as well talk about it here,
Yes.
in depth. So like, why is that?
Um, so there were a few reasons that I did it. It's available on YouTube as like a free to listen video. It's also available on Bandcamp to be able to purchase both the digital and physical versions. But I had started getting really tired of Spotify anyway. Both as a user and as an artist, to be like very transparent about it, I've never broken the threshold for getting any money from Spotify. Like my streams were not that high. I think like a lot of people put their music there for accessibility. A lot of people use Spotify, and I do think that there is value in that. And something that I've like also said is that Flair's music will probably continue to be on Spotify for that reason. But it costs money to keep music on streaming services, and I ran into an issue where DistroKid took No Thanks to You down, which was, I think One More Night is actually my number one stream song, but it, you know, it had quite a lot of streams. It had been up since 2021, you know, comparatively. And it was because the second track actually on the single Loading, which is a song I almost never talk about, but got flagged for bot streams.
Why?
Which I don't know why. It didn't even really have that many streams on it. There was like, I looked at the graph, like one spike of a day. So they took it down. And when I reached out to support about it, they were like, yeah, the only thing you can do is resubmit it. And we can keep the date the same, but you'll have to start over with your streams. And I was like, cool. Well, I'm not going to do that. And I actually like keep meaning to go in and like redo the way that stuff is pushed out to streaming, because there are ways to submit things to other platforms, or like that's how you have things on Instagram too, is you have to submit them through a distributor. And that's why like on Instagram the only thing that's available is No Thanks to You and maybe One More Night. Like I don't think Aurora is on there, and obviously none of my album songs are on there, which is inconvenient. But I also think, this is like my boomer hat, everyone get ready, that like everything being the most convenient is not good. I do think there has to be like a little bit of effort to put in to get the things that you want. The closer we get to like everything being the path of least resistance, the like less you're actually engaging with the thing. And my album's up for free. You know, it's up for free. You can click on it. There are chapter markers in the description. You can click to specific songs if you only want to listen to specific songs. You can buy the digital versions and keep the tracks downloaded and put them on your phone and still listen to them in your car, or you can buy the CD. There are ways to still consume it that are accessible. But also, like, the music quality is quite low on Spotify. I don't know if this is something I actually talked about in the short, but there were people who in the stream for the like premiere of my album were like, oh my god, I love this like remastered version of One More Night. And I was like, I did not touch that track at all.
Really?
It's exactly the same as the version you listen to on Spotify, but it sounds so much better on YouTube because the streaming quality is a lot higher. Sometimes people talk about like, oh, well, I don't notice that sort of thing. But I think like as soon as you compare it, you're like, oh, that actually is quite different. I think they've recently made it a little bit better. But also you can look into it. Spotify is quite unfair in terms of how it treats the music industry. And I don't think a lot of these companies are very good at it, but at a certain point I was kind of like, okay, this is just not worth it. And I think it's not a company that I can like get behind ethically. So I'm just going to decide not to do it. If it's not worth my time and I'm not getting anything out of it and it costs money, it's kind of like, well, what am I doing? You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think my Oshis, they had like a song they released like 2 years ago. It got taken down because like they didn't have the enough funds to have it like
Yeah.
back up. So and then like last month they put it back on because like they raised enough money from streaming revenue to just put it back on. So I'm like, oh, cool. But like, yeah, it kind of sucks. Also, Spotify revenue is like so bad.
It's bad, dude. It's like worse than you think it is. You know, like I referenced that now I'm worried I'm gonna do the thing where I get the same similar looking YouTubers mixed up. That's
Drew
like
Gooden?
a meme. But it is Drew Gooden. Yeah. Okay. I was like, am I wrong? No, Drew Gooden did a video about it, and he talked about how the way that Spotify splits their revenue is like based off of a curve of like how many total streams on Spotify there is. So it's like it at a certain point like doesn't even matter how many streams you get. Like your income might not even go up depending on how many users and how much things are getting streamed in total. It's like a total pool that they have to divvy up, and even then it's like still an unfair system for how that divvying up happens. And so like for some people, like I have friends who have music on Spotify that like it is income for them and it does work out. For me at the level that I'm at, it's just like not worth it. And as I kind of said, like I'd rather divert that traffic to my YouTube, which I'm working really hard to like continue to grow, or like on Bandcamp, which people have supported me on, and that has been way more beneficial for me. The money that I've gotten from Bandcamp is a lot of the reason why I've been able to do some of the things that I've done this year. And that is like supporting me much more than listening to me on Spotify ever did, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, having a free alternative also on your YouTube channel, so a lot more accessibility. Right. It's not paywalled, so yeah.
Right, it's not paywalled. I mean, you had to have an account on Spotify anyway to listen to it and pay for that. And I guess like a lot of people already are, but I don't know. I think everybody is has the opportunity to make their own decisions on like what they think works for them and what their business model is to a certain extent. And like I said, like I think that there's no perfect way to go about it, or that like one decision is morally more correct than the other. For me, I was just like, this feels like what is right for me, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's good to, I guess, take a stand to Spotify because they suck. And
a little bit.
The subscription is pricey.
Right.
I used to buy like a Turkish or Egyptian Spotify account for like a year for like $10. I'm like, yeah, right. And they cracked down on it, so I have to pay like $12.99 a month. So I'm like, oh, yeah, well, okay.
It sucks because they just put Hello Project on Spotify, and I was excited about that, but now I use YouTube Music, and it's always been there, so it worked out for me.
Yeah. So if you haven't listened to In Silence, it's on Alex Pinku's YouTube channel. Just listen to it.
Indeed.
Yeah. Ad free, by the way.
And on, what is it? alexpinku.bandcamp.com?
Yeah. Buy a physical copy. Or wait until Bandcamp Friday to fully support Pinku. So 100% of the revenue.
I appreciate
it. Moving on from the album, might as well talk about Flare, because 2 years ago, Flare was just about to debut or did not debut yet, so might as well talk about your duo with Michael.
Yeah.
So, how did you first meet Michael?
Michael and I have known each other for a very long time. Michael joined the dance group that I was in, DTP, many, many years ago. I don't even know what year. After I did, by a few years. And honestly, during our time in the group, we weren't very close. Just by nature of like the things we were into at the time and like the distance that we had from each other. We knew each other, we were friends, but like we weren't as close as we are now. And it really wasn't until like maybe 2-ish years before we started Flare, so maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, that like we started to get really close. But we've known each other upwards of like 10 years now. But we wanted to perform. It was sort of like a haha, what if we did this thing? Just kidding, unless, you know, like very much that sort of thing. We both had been doing solo work for quite some time, and we were like, well, let's just try to perform together. Let's just like collab on a performance and see how that goes. So we did the ColossalCon East like Kaigai Idol Festival. I actually don't know if they still have two different ones, but they had like two different ones. There was like the cosplay Idol Festival, and then like everyone else in like a different thing. And so we did that performance, and we just kind of like used Flair as like a random sort of placeholder name just to like see how we felt about it. And after we performed, we were like, okay, there's something here. We know we can work together, because finding people to collab with that like you are compatible with is really difficult to do. It's why there are so many soloists in the US, and why like groups tend to not last as long, and why there's so many duos now, because it's much easier to like manage a duo than it is to manage a group. I find it really funny that we're like very duo pilled at this time. I love it, but we discovered through working on that show that we were like, okay, I think we can do this, and it just kind of spiraled from there.
So, with Flair, with the ColossalCon performance, what did you perform?
We performed. Oh, it was a Gardendelia song, Yoyoi Kokon. We did it as a dance,
Oh.
and then we performed Echo. The is that the Sir Crush P song? It's like a
Crusher P?
Vocaloid song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, maybe
No.
it's just Crusher P. It's one of them. I'm a bad Vocaloid fan. Because there's like another song that I'm thinking of that is both of them together. Maybe it's not Echo. Anyway, we did that song. We sung that song. It was like our first time singing together on stage, and we very much like felt, we knew we wanted to lean into like the gothness of it all. Like I wore all white, Michael wore all black. The black and white thing was like very much from its inception. But we were both dancers primarily, so we wanted to do a dance song and then like a singing song. And like, I don't think it was a perfect performance, but when is anyone's first performance ever? But I think we definitely felt like there was a chemistry that we could continue to grow and tap into.
So with Flair, actually, where did the name come from, and where did the concept come from?
Where did the name come from? I know we like really workshopped a lot of different things, but Michael and I are both Aries, and both dual fire signs, I think, and but like in slightly different ways. But that was like one of the first things that we became close about, and would sort of like jokingly relate to each other on, and like being a fire sign was like a big part of our relation to each other. So we knew we wanted to do something like kind of related to that. Michael wanted his image color to be orange, mine was red. And so something in that realm kind of made sense. And I think that we were like looking up a lot of different ways to say fire that felt catchy. I definitely wanted to pick something that sort of transcended genre, that wasn't like very clearly a J-pop idol project, despite the fact that we knew we wanted it to very much be like idol inspired, and it is an idol project, like a Japanese idol fed project, but something that felt accessible and just like quick and easy. I love one word names. It feels very iconic. So I think at one point we just like we're like, oh yeah, this is good enough as a placeholder for now, we'll see if it sticks, and then it did.
Yeah. So with Flair, how does performing as a duo, how does that work differentiate from your solo work?
Yeah, I think when we were kind of deciding what we wanted to do as a duo and how that differentiated from our solo stuff, because at the time we both sort of knew we wanted to do some stuff still solo, and like how would we differentiate that? I don't think it necessarily has to be different, but I think for me, I again allowed myself, because previous to that, and you can kind of see this like if you go back and look at old performances of me, I kind of had semi-identity crisis when it came to who is Alex Pinku as an idol. I think brand is something that's just like always talked about as this thing that's really important, which I have varying opinions on. It is and isn't, you know, but I would kind of bounce back and forth a lot between this like very idol image of like I used to wear a pink and blue dress. It was very big. It was very fluffy. I would perform a lot of like very ginky, cute idol songs, but I loved doing the more rock, edgy stuff too. And like performing I'm Not Okay by My Chemical Romance, there's like a lot of balance in that. And I think the decision that I made at a certain point was that I was able to use Flair to lean more into the over the top idol kind of stage persona. Not that it's not me, it's not Alex, it's not like a character name or anything like that. I'm still Alex Pinku when I'm on stage there, but at the same time, I feel like I can use that as an outlet for that passion of mine, whereas I can use my solo stuff sort of as an outlet for some of my other passions as well, musically. So while it is still an idol performance, I'm still dancing, I'm still singing, I'm still doing all the calls and mix and all that kind of stuff as a soloist. There is a different nuance to it that because I have Flair to express myself that way, I don't feel as obligated as I used to as a soloist to be like, well, I have to share this love of like Wasta and the Idolmaster and all these things that have like a very particular type of image. Which is funny because with Flair, our image is like very alt leaning. It's like, our branding is very like goth and very like darkness and light. And there's like sort of like a sinister undertone to our branding that I really like. But at the same time, we're like very happy and genki and we're performing iLife songs and we're doing like, we're still also doing edgy songs, but it's like able to be viewed in a very certain way. And so that's really fun for me to get to explore that in different realms instead of feeling this like pressure to have to do things one specific way.
So with Flair and also your solo stuff, how do you find a balance to schedule out like performances for both Flair and you?
Yeah, at this point, Flair is my priority. The last year, I think I made that decision that like any opportunity we can to perform as Flair, I want to. Flair is like a project that I believe in so wholeheartedly. I love working with Michael. Performing with another person is my preference. It's just so much fun, and it's a lot easier to perform with other people. It's a lot harder in a lot of ways, but in general, like, you get to split all the lines. You get to have more moments with the audience because you're not focused on like being the focus 100% of the time. So I mentally made that decision. When we first were doing it, it was like kind of 50-50. I think last year I really only performed by myself like once or twice. And this year it'll be probably about the same, maybe like twice, including Techo next week. And I love performing my music. I love doing stuff solo too, but pretty much when I've performed solo is because Michael's not at that event. Or, there's like something else going on or whatever it might be. So that's sort of how I'm making that decision at this point, is like, if Michael's not available, I guess I'll do it myself, which is fine. But yeah.
I gotcha. So fully on the Flair train.
Yep.
And like, if whatever happens, Alex solo sometimes.
Yes, exactly.
So with Flair came the very first original track, which was Mythical Activity. What was it like working with someone else on lyrics? Because all of your stuff has been primarily you. So
Yep. Yeah, before Mythical Activity, I'd never worked on lyrics with anybody else. Actually, that's not true. I worked with Aiden on My Name, which we released together. But even that, Aiden wrote most of that song, and I just wrote a verse on it. And so I still like, we didn't really collab a ton on that track. But with Mythical Activity, we really like, we both wrote that song. Like, we sat down together and did it. And that's such a different experience because it's a lot more vulnerable, because when I'm writing songs by myself, I'm altering a lot of things and like not letting anybody see the first draft of things and redrafting and then getting feedback on it. But when you're writing something with somebody else, you have to be like okay with them seeing the first draft of things. It's same thing with choreographing. Like, you kind of just have to throw things at the wall and see what sticks. But I love writing with Michael. It's something that like is really great is that he has such an attention for detail that I don't, both with lyric writing and with dance. So like I would write a line and he'd be like, okay, well this needs like the timing isn't quite right on this. What if we like change this word to this, and like really refined it down to something that I think is a lot cleaner than I would have been able to write it on my own, which is just a lot more accessible. And I love Mythical Activity so much. I was practicing it the other day and I was like, I'm never gonna get tired of this song. Just because like it's so fun. It's really like catchy. Like we wrote it really as a love letter to the idol community. Like it's about, you know, fae creatures going into the woods for a party, but it's like a metaphor for the idol community and like kind of all being weirdos and outcasts and enjoying this kind of strange hobby, but like as long as it's fun, who cares, you know, that type of thing. So it's really like close to my heart in that way.
So with that, wait, there's like two Flare songs, right?
Yeah, the second one hasn't been released yet,
okay,
but
gotcha.
we have performed it a ton.
So yeah, I still regret not seeing you guys at Northwest Idol Fest. I'm so
All right.
I
We'll be
feel
back
bad
to the
about
West Coast
that.
today. It's one of our goals really to like perform on the West Coast. So we'll get there. We'll get there.
So with the group in mind, like what are some goals you want to achieve in the future?
So we definitely have like dreams as far as people we want to collaborate with. That's something we've been doing a lot recently, is collaborating with other performers, and we really enjoy doing that. We're both such huge Kaigai Idol fans, so getting to know people that way has been really fun. So we want to continue to do that and continue to like be a part of the community. We want to release more music. We want to re-release Mythical Activity and Love Spiraling, which is our second song. And hopefully we'll get that done this year. You didn't hear that from me, but hopefully that will happen. We've been so focused on performances, and we are happy for that to be our focus right now. So once that slows down, we'll get back in the studio. But we want to do that. We want to release an EP. That's like another thing we've been working on kind of in the background, with some other tracks on there as well. We are beginning work on another song, maybe. So I think like releasing music is something that's like a really big part of Flare. We love covering Japanese idol music, and that I think will always be a part of what we do. But at the same time, I think we get a lot of joy out of being able to write kind of silly idol songs, and getting to express that way. Like both of us in our solo work, again, it was like very emotionally heavy. It's very vulnerable in that way, which we really like doing, but getting to just like have a space to have fun. Not that it's not coming from a real emotional place. Like Love Spiraling definitely had like a point of inspiration of both of us kind of relating to each other in how we deal with those kinds of feelings. But at the same time, it's like a silly, like very camp song where we're kind of like laughing at each other the whole time, and getting to do that, I think, and continue to do that as Flare is like a big goal of ours.
Well,
and continuing to perform on stages all over the place.
I can't wait to see what happens with Flare in the future, and I can't wait for the second song to be on streaming, and also the future songs.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I know that people seem to like it when we do it live, and we both really love that song too. Part of it is that, you know, a lot of stuff has changed with Flare as we've kind of gone on, and we want to make sure that we can put out the best versions of the songs possible. So it's on purpose.
So with Michael being a part of Flare,
Yes.
you still work with him alongside
Yes.
Aiden in Idol Gateway. So segueing into that.
True.
What
People can't get rid of
me. What is Idol Gateway?
So Idol Gateway is a collective of performers specifically in the DMV, although Michael lives in New York, but it's fine, that puts on standalone idol events. Right now, just Idol Taibans. to feature both local and out of town performers and continue to give a place to the community to make that accessible.
So what really formed that idea to form an event organization, company thingy group? There we go.
Yeah, it is that, isn't it? So Idol Gateway was Aiden's brainchild for sure. While Aiden was in Japan, and was performing in Taibans in Japan, in the time that they were there, they really wanted to bring that to the US. And it's something that I had already been thinking about of like, how do we do this? And when we were thinking about this, it really wasn't a thing in the way that it is now. WSF was like just starting to like put on events like the people who were behind that. And there were like a few birthday lives that had happened here and there, but there really weren't reoccurring events happening very much, especially in the Northeast. So we wanted to figure out a way to bring together the Idol community outside of conventions. So that Aiden brought it up to me, and I was like, yes, absolutely. And Michael and I had already been working with each other, and Michael had been staffing for Otakon, so had a lot of experience in doing that. And so we all came together and we're like, all right, let's put on a show. We'll see how it goes and kind of take it from there. And we put on the first one in, what year is it right now? In 2024, at the end of 2024. And had a really great time doing it, and now we keep on doing it.
So like, take me into your perspective, your POV, with any Idol Gateway event, be it Volume 1 to 4. I think there's Gateway happened. So
Gateway did happen.
So what are your responsibilities, like from start to finish, for one volume, one event?
So for me, I mostly oversee like the schedule and event process, or like day of event running. So keeping us on time, I'm like the go-to person for like if people have questions. I know like all of the beats of the day like the back of my hand, and I am like available for people to ask. I am doing a lot of the day of decision making, because that's sort of keeping a cool head, I think, is in high pressure situations is something that I'm quite good at. Aiden handles a lot of the performers and venue side of things, and the sound, and Michael handles all of our staffing needs. And so I'm sort of like in the middle, kind of helping manage general, making sure everything is happening when it needs to happen, as well as just giving input, as all three of us do, in terms of what we want the event to look like, what we want to prioritize, how we're going to do that, where we're going to do that, things like that.
So, as the three of you are the showrunners, how do you decide like on who gets to perform at each volume?
So we have a submission form that we pull out of every volume. And we try to advertise that form as much as possible, because there are plenty of people that we don't know about. And so we always are encouraging people to do that. A lot of times too, it's other events that we're going to, we see people perform and we go, we want them at Gateway. So, you know, whether that's conventions or other standalone events that we've gone to, we really want Idol Gateway to be a place that celebrates specifically the DMV Idol community. And so we always try to make sure that, you know, a large percentage of the performers are from the DMV. We also really try to prioritize giving people who don't have a ton of stage experience time on stage, because the only way that you get better is by performing. So, you know, whatever way that looks like, it's kind of been different for every volume, but we want to make sure that it's not always the same people performing at every show, and giving a lot of exposure to new faces, as well as bringing people that we know can reliably put on great shows. And now we're starting to want to repeat people that, you know, are, you know, gonna come back and things like that. But that's always gonna be the core of it. And now the past 2 volumes, we've had people come from outside the Northeast, which has been really exciting. I kind of thought that people wouldn't want to travel just for a standalone event because it's not a convention, right? Conventions are a lot easier of a pitch. You have an entire weekend full of things and other people there, but now people are willing to travel for standalone events, which is really awesome. So that kind of like opens up a whole new world. But for us, we really want to make sure that we're always highlighting our local community and making sure we're fostering that in a really special way. So
going with that, when you talked about like having not the same people every single time, how much does like performer variety matter?
I think it matters a ton. You want to make sure that everybody has space to shine on their own, but also that it's not so dissonant that it feels disjointed. And I think arranging a set list is something that we think about a lot in terms of like what the flow of the show looks like, as well as, you know, who's going to be in each show and are these performers going to kind of complement each other. And, you know, a really beautiful part of the idol community now is that we're really spoiled for choice. And so there's a lot of really great performers, and we want to continue to put on shows so that we can showcase all of them, which feels like an impossible goal, but one that I'm willing to stand up and say that we will do. But, you know, I think something that is kind of a threat to specifically the Northeast community is burnout, right? We have so many events now that are happening all the time, which is just so great. And like Michael and I keep joking that like we used to pray for times like this, and is really great. But like something that'll help prevent that burnout is, you know, seeing a rotating cast of people and constantly getting reintroduced to new people and making sure there is space for people to continue to join and expand the community.
Yeah, because oh god, compared to like we'll get to it later, but like 2 years ago there was not this many like events ever, especially on the East Coast.
I mean, when we did the first Gateway, it was really like, who are our friends that like we know can put on a show, because we didn't know what else to do. There weren't as many people performing like in this specific style that we wanted. Like Idol Gateway, we really want to be highlighting Kaigai idols and people inspired by Japanese idol culture specifically. And like now it's like we have like a list of 10 people we want every show, and then kind of have to like figure it out, you know, from there. And even this last show we had 7 performers originally, and that's more than we've ever had. But it's like it's a tough balance because you don't want to run a 5-hour long concert, you know, like nobody can stand that really, I think. So unless you're doing like a festival, and I don't know, that's a pipe dream of mine too, but it's a tough balance, I think, and every showrunner has different perspectives on it. It's why I really think having a lot of different showrunners, even in the same region, is really important, because everybody has a different perspective and different priority, and all of that helps the community grow. So I think that like it's okay for us to have our perspectives because other people will have a different perspective from different people, and we can all intertwine and commingle and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I really do appreciate, I think I said this before, but I do appreciate like the amount of the variety of people, because like it's not always gonna be Blair every single time. It's, you know, it's like a different amount of people, different roster of people. Right. So like every time you go to like an Idol Gateway show, there's probably like 1 or 2 people that you don't know and discover. So it's good.
Right. Exactly. And also it's a lot of exposure to different types of idols. You know, when we started Idol Gateway, it was really important to me that like we weren't performing every time, or actually that like the 3 of us were not the focus, because I really wanted to be about the other people performing. It's very hard also, we did learn this past Idol Gateway, it's really hard to both perform and staff a show at the same time. And as much as I loved performing, it's you know, hard to split your brain in that way. So like whether it's performers like Flair, or performers like Yumeiro Picnic, or performers like Heidi, or performers like Koji Bear or Sid, or, you know, all of these people have very different styles and types of performing, and I want to expose the idol community to all of them. I think that's the only way you can really decide exactly like what it is you like, and you know, find new Oshis and things like that.
Yeah, I love Idol Gateway, even though
I love Idol Gateway.
I haven't been there. I've watched streams. I've watched Ando's footage. It's awesome. So
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I'm really excited for the future of Idol Gateway because now that we sold out our last show, which was our first sold out show, which is really, really exciting. And that gives us an opportunity to get better venues and really like can prove to venues that people will show up. So people, I hope, will continue to show up and continue to do it. So we can have slightly better conditions because the last show the air conditioning was out and it was everybody was very strong. I'm very appreciative that everyone was very understanding, but I want to put people in better situations.
Not a hot box. Oh my god. No.
It was a little bit of a hot box. I felt bad. The venue person felt really bad about it because they were told that the contractors would be able to fix it, and they didn't. And they brought out like a bunch of air conditioners and stuff. Everybody did the best they could with the situation, and everybody was very kind about it. But at the same time, I want to fight for better conditions for both our performers and our attendees. So I'm excited for that to continue to get better too.
Yeah. So I might as well ask about it. But like, when's the next Idol Gateway?
It's a really good question. We have plans. So obviously we have some performers who we had lined up that didn't get to perform, whether that was because Volume 3, there's a really big storm, so both Cherry Girls and Jenny Bond couldn't come. And then this last show, Dream Teak had to drop out. So we are planning shows around that. At this point, we are still looking to like secure a venue. We're hoping to do another show this year, if not early next year. So we'll definitely have the information out. Everybody will know as soon as we know, to be able to get that sorted.
So might as well talk about the future and retrospect.
Yes.
Well, retrospect first, might as well. Now 2 years later, your answers could be way different compared to episode 3, but like probably. What would you
I wonder what I even said then.
Yeah. What would you consider your favorite performance that you've done?
What is my favorite performance? I think when we performed at Starlight Auto Festival as Flare, not last year, but the year before, I had so much fun on that stage. Usually big, like big festival type stages where you can't really see the audience very well are not as fun. I mean, it's still very fun, don't get me wrong, but like I love like an intimate live where you can see everybody individually and I can like get up close and we can high five or whatever. I love those types of shows, but something about Starlight Auto Festival that year was just, I walked off like, usually, my head kind of fills with doubts. I'm thinking about the performance. I'm like coming down from the adrenaline of it all, trying to breathe, but like, it was so much fun, that particular show. So that's definitely up there for me. But I think that Flare has continued to get better every show. And so even though I know that we're stronger performers now, I still like really look back on that performance fondly.
Coinciding with that, what would you consider your favorite song that you perform?
Kahen Sunren is such like a classic for us. The audience is just so much fun when we do that song, and I've like gotten emotional when we perform it, just because like when we did it at Katsucon this past year, I like felt myself tear up because I just was like so overwhelmed by the energy in like a good way. But I love performing with collectivity. It's so much fun. It's like such a great like up and down of energy between like getting to be really cute and like that also kind of getting to be kind of cool, which are both things that I really like to do. And so I would be remiss to say not mythical activity. We also this year started doing Mad Game by Mad Medicine, and that song is so fun to do. It's like kind of an edgier song, It's been really fun to tap into that, and I'm excited to continue to perform it because we keep like improving it, and each time being like, okay, let's do this different. Okay, let's like do this and make this a little bit easier so we can like really lean into the energy. And so like it's really fun to get like workshop songs over time like that.
Honestly, all of the, I mean, before for this interview, you sent over B-roll or performance B-roll, and
Oh yeah.
I watched it. I'm like, God, I want to be at a Flare for a set.
It's so much fun. It's very like interactive. It's like definitely one of our like North Stars in terms of like what we're always prioritizing in a performance is like audience interaction and like how can we make everybody part of it. So I hope you get to experience it soon.
Hopefully. Oh man.
You got to come to Otakon, dude. What's going on?
No. I'm gonna miss Otakon. I'm gonna be on the East Coast, but I'm gonna miss Otakon by a week.
Messed up. It's okay. Next time.
Next time. So might as well talk about the Kaigai idol community. IDOLEYEZ was formed in 2024. We first interviewed you in 2024. A lot has changed in 2 years, from different event hosts to new idols popping up in the scene. You know, like Oyasumimi, like Yumiuro Picnic. To you, in your perspective, your PO, how much has this community changed over the past 2 years?
I think it's changed a lot, but only in the sense that it continues to grow a lot. I don't know if the community itself has changed or taken on a new like vibe necessarily as much as it has just exploded, right? I think, you know, there's a period of like the 2010s in Japan that are called like the idol war era, because there just were so many idol groups popping up that it was like, you know, really hard for anybody to kind of stand out. And I feel like we're sort of entering that era in the Kaigai idol community, in North America at least, which is crazy. The fact that, you know, we talk about standalone events a lot and how that even happening 2 years ago was like, you know, a
pipe dream.
Sisyphean yeah, like it happened, but it was like you really had to push for it. And now it's a lot more accessible. People kind of understand how to do it, or like guerrilla lives happening, people performing on the street, thank God. Like it's such a like a beautiful thing to me. But even at conventions, like pretty much any anime convention you go to now has an idol event of some kind, whether that's like a fan run panel that's like an idol festival, or like an official event that Flair just performed at AkaiCon in Tennessee, which is a pretty small convention that had like a really tight knit community, which was really cool. But it was like in one building of like a very small convention center, and they had 2 festivals. They had one on each day, and I think that that's like such an image of exactly like how much the idol community that has grown across like the entire country, and it's crazy. It's a really great thing in my opinion, and I hope we just like continue to grow and continue to make space for everybody.
In compared to 2 years ago, the scene is on the up.
Yeah. And the bar continues to rise, which is really tough. Like I think that's like the idol warring of it all, is that it's really great that the bar continues to be to rise for performing, and you know, even for Castle Point Anime Convention, like which is run by Tri-State Idol Union, which I also staff for, and for that convention, which is a college-run convention in New Jersey, we had like 130 applications. Like that's crazy. What do you mean? You know? So like it's definitely tough, I think.
Hopefully in 2 years it'll be even better.
Yes, and I think there's going to be even more opportunities for people to get that experience. And it's another reason why like a big part of Idol Gateway's goal is to give that experience for people, so then they can go apply to these bigger events, you know. So fingers crossed that's the case.
I definitely asked this in episode 3, but might as well get a new version of it.
Sure.
What would you what would you consider? what general advice would you give an idol watching? Because we got a lot of idols watching this show, especially for 100 episodes.
I love that. Something that I've been thinking about a lot lately is Paida just put out a video where she talked about giving advice to people. And she like uploaded a small clip of it where she said that a lot of people get stuck in the asking for advice stage, and no amount of advice that you get from anybody is going to get you from step 0 to step 1. At a certain point, you just have to start doing it. And I think that that is such valuable advice. And it's such a better way to say like what I feel like I've been trying to put words to for so long. You know, I have my thoughts about like what to prioritize when it comes to starting as a performer. But like my priorities are never going to be your priorities necessarily. I think it's really important to get a lot of different people's perspective, and see a lot of idol shows and be an idol fan first and foremost. When it comes to being a performer, I think being a fan is such an important part of it. But at a certain point, you got to just start doing it, whatever that means, whatever it is to you. Like you want to be an idol, you got to ask yourself, what is being an idol? And then you just start doing that, you know?
So just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Perform in your bedroom, perform in the hallway at a convention, apply to your local idol festivals and just do it, and then learn, adapt, change. The way that I perform now is so different than when I, you know, debuted as an idol, and that's like a natural and normal part of it, and allowing yourself the grace to grow and change over time, I think is like the best advice that I could give.
So, since you've been in the Kaiga idol community for a long time, what
Just
really...
call me up. It's
No,
fine.
I'm not gonna call you up. No. A veteran, a tenured veteran. What really keeps you going with performing, with, you know, doing Bupan, with everything?
I just love idols so much. Like sometimes I really do like get emotional thinking about it. I think it's such a special type of performance. I think it's such like an expressive and fun thing. I just have so much fun performing. It can get really stressful. Sometimes I'm like, man, like, can I continue to do this? It is kind of an expensive hobby. But I just, anytime I get on stage, I'm like, oh yeah, like I can't ever stop doing this. It's just so much fun. I love dancing. I've always loved dancing, and I love getting to express myself that way, and that developing into also a love for singing and being able to develop that skill over time. I just really love that. And then, you know, when people come up to me and are like, watching you makes me want to do it, like that is just such a special thing. And I think, you know, whether it's idling or dressing alternatively or making art or whatever it is, like you being your authentic self will always inspire other people to do the same. And so I think it's really important to have like that presence. And I have people that tell me that, and I'm like, oh, that's how idols make me feel. I watch my idols perform and I think, oh, I want to work really hard and I want to be able to have this. And I'm so grateful to have this hobby. So anytime I get a little too stressed, I like think about even just being a fan. I love being a fan. Michael and I recently were like, I want to be a fan. I want to go to the Iris Yume Pinku show this weekend. And I can't, and it's tragic, you know, like I love going to shows and just being a fan, and it always inspires me to like want to go work hard on my own shows. So I can't imagine it any other way, truly.
I mean, even as a fan, watching idols like give it their all on stage, it's just so cool to see. And
Yeah.
like,
No, for sure.
yeah, Nat, I really do want to see you perform. See Flair. Want to go to an idol gateway. Oh my god, there's so much that I want to do. So
Yes. thankfully, hopefully, we'll be doing it for a while. So you got a little bit of time at least. But everything's fleeting, you know?
On Idolize, a lot of people mentioned you as an inspiration.
That's crazy.
their Kaiga idol activities.
What do you mean?
On the top of my head, Made Latte. Honestly, Made Latte just that I don't know. That just stuff.
That's crazy because I love Latte so much. I look up to Latte.
Is there anyone in the Kaiga idol community outside of Latte that you look up to?
There are so many people. I really admire a lot of people. Latte is like one of my Oshi. Like I love watching her perform so much. I think the way that she conducts herself on stage is like an energy that I really strive for. So that's really lovely. I think Latte and I come from very similar backgrounds in terms of like ototemita dance stuff, and like I always admire really strong dancers. Because like again, that's like something I really strive for. So I love that we like have that. But I really look up to Non-Sweet quite a lot. I love the times I've gotten to talk with them and their perspective on the idol community because they've been in it for a really long time too. Phoebe is such a wonderful friend, and every time I see her perform, I like tear up and just am so proud of her and the way that she's grown. Paida, I really love also, and like haven't seen in a really long time, but I would love to see her again sometime soon. You know, people that I feel like I've watched kind of grow as the community continues to grow. But this new wave of idols, I admire so much. I feel like I often talk about I'm really glad that I started being an idol and like pursuing idling in my late 20s, like mid to late 20s, because if I did it when I was 19 or 20 or 21, like there's no way I would be as put together as a lot of these people are. You know, a lot of people in my local community, and I just admire their tenacity and their hard work so much. It's like funny to say that because a lot of idols in Japan are also like in their late teens and early 20s, and it, you know, I have a lot of admiration for that energy. So yeah, I'm a big fan of our little Kaigai idol sphere.
Yeah, a lot of people to look up to, a lot of people that look up.
Indeed,
to, so.
Very blessed. I do want to say real quick. Sea-Line87 asked, "Have you done any physical releases of your music, or would you like to?" And I have, and you can get them on Bandcamp. Just saying.
New album physically on Bandcamp and
digitally. Yeah, you can just buy the digital versions if you want, but the physical releases also come with the digital ones. But I just wanted to say that because we did talk about it. But
you also did. I did buy 2 years ago. I did buy on your spring sale. It was the One More Night.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, and I don't have physical releases of No Thanks to You anymore, and I don't think I will get more singles. But I still have both the other singles, and I do burns of the album as well.
Yeah, you
don't have to wait till Bandcamp Friday. I'll be honest, Bandcamp's fees aren't that bad, but you can. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do.
I think that's like August next month. So
yeah, I think so. They don't do it every month anymore, but I think August is the next one. Yeah. Anyway.
We talked about Flair's future goals. We talked about Idol Gateway's future goals. What about you?
Mm-hmm.
Or might as well be 2026.
Right. I was going through recently some of my like YouTube video scripts and just like seeing what I had, because a lot of times I'll like half write or 3/4 write something and then like forget it exists and then come back to it. And so I was looking through them, and one of them was like a goals for 2026 video that I was going to do that I ended up not filming. And I like had accomplished a lot of the stuff that was on that list already, which felt really good. You know, releasing my album, etc. Right now, a lot of my personal goals have to do around like the community work that I do, as well as like my YouTube channel. And part of that is because I released the album, and that was such like important thing for me to accomplish this year that I don't want to like take a break from music, but like want to decompress from it a little bit and really focus on my work with Tri-State Idol Union and my work on my YouTube channel. Right now, one of my goals is to get to 2,000 subscribers, which is less to do with the number and more that I really want to monetize my channel pretty soon. Less because I want to run ads, which I actually like don't think that I will, but I want to unlock memberships because I want to be able to like offer things to people who may want to support me in that way. And I don't want to have like a separate platform like Patreon or something. I think it's just a little too much. So that's like one of my really big goals right now is to get there. And I love creating videos. I'm having so much fun getting to do that and streaming each month. I'm like considering going up to more than once a month streaming. Right now, that's kind of what I've been up to. But yeah, so I'm like very focused on those things when it comes to my personal like solo work, I guess.
Get that 2,000 subs. So.
I'm getting there. The growth each time, I'm like surprised. Like it's not as if I get, you know, thousands of views on every video, but like I have like a very consistent viewership, and that makes me really proud, honestly.
Oh, speaking of the yeah, like 2 years ago, I think I said that because like I was looking out, getting into the scene. I was looking for like ways to learn like the pieces and stuff and call it.
Yeah.
It was Pomu, and it was your video. It was like
Yes.
one of the very first Idol Pedia videos. I was like,
Yeah.
I'll watch it and I'll try to learn call and mix. 2 years later, I still don't know that much about call and mix.
You know, it's hard because like I really want to make those resources, and I feel like I've almost hit a wall of like my own knowledge of call and mix. So I have to like call in resource or like, you know, some of the more experienced people with that specifically. But that you know, now thankfully there are more people making those types of videos on YouTube, which is really good. But I love like creating those resources and giving people like a place to like get started. YouTube shows you like in the last month like which of your videos have gotten the most views, like just within that time period. And every month my like what are Kai Guy Idols videos like still gets a few hundred views, which is like how much some of my videos get at all. And that makes me really happy because it means that people are looking for that content and are like looking at it, you know what I mean, and learning about, you know, what are Kai Guy Idols and what is the terminology. And so I'm working on more of that, but it's nice to see that like people are still watching that.
Can't wait for the new video. Maybe.
Yes.
And new streams. So.
Yes. I'm streaming on Monday.
Oh.
Just saying.
Oh yeah, Minecraft, right?
I am streaming Minecraft on Monday.
Can't wait for that.
Yes.
So, in terms of, I think we talked a little bit, but like with Flair, what are some songs you would like to perform? Sure.
Right now, so Wasta is one of my favorite idol groups. They have been my favorite for a really long time. Is disbanding at the beginning of next year. So like right now I very much want to do like a tribute to Wasta, and they also have like a big place in Flair's heart and a big part of Flair's journey because we've like pretty much always covered their music, as well as the first collab that Michael and I ever did was a Wasta song. So right now I'm very much like, oh, what song should we do to like help commemorate this really iconic idol group that's had a big influence on the Western scene as well. And so I'm very focused on that. Michael and I also really want to do more like edgy, like kind of rock songs. So we're always looking for that type of thing as well.
Whenever you guys have new songs, I hope they get recorded by Ando.
The chances are quite high, I think.
Speaking of performances, we have some of them on screen, but like except for a couple next weekend, but what are some upcoming performances? or Flair has?
So for me, I am performing at Techo next week in Pittsburgh, both in the dance competition and in the Idols After Dark showcase. And the weekend after that, yes, 2 weekends back to back. Didn't mean to do that. It just kind of happened that way. At Otakon, it just got announced that Flair will be in the Anybeat Idol Festival, which we're so excited for. The lineup is so good. Yeah, it's right there. Oh, no, the other way. So really honored to get to be a part of that lineup. I specifically the fact that we get to share a stage with Moe Alge, I'm like really excited. But everybody on that lineup is so good. So really looking forward to Idol Gateway, or not Idol Gateway. Annie Beat. My brain is still in that place. We've got some really fun things planned for like the meet and greet situation at Otakon. So if you're coming, get ready to play some games. But in addition to that, in the following week in New York City, we'll be performing as part of the Plum Idol. Oh, it's right there. See, I'm timing this so well. Idol Festival in New York City. It's on like the Tuesday after Otakon with the Rares, which is really exciting. Love the whole lineup for that as well. And then Bittersweet Citrus right there. Last Destination and Barry performing in my city, finally, in Baltimore. So get to rep the DMV in a slightly different place because we've done a lot of shows in DC. So that's really exciting to give the Baltimore community a performance like that. It's going to be a 3-man live between the 3 of us. The preparations for that are so fun. And I think that's everything right now. In addition to, I will be streaming on Monday on my channel, playing Minecraft, and doing more Idol stuff in the future. I usually try to keep everything very Idol focused on my channel, but we're trying something new. So we're gonna see how that goes.
Subscribe. I don't know if this is this does this lead to the right place now? This was 2 years ago. This command.
The website no longer exists, but those other things are correct. Yes.
Yeah. Subscribe. Alex Pinku.
Subscribe.
Score Planet. Alex Pinku.
Yes.
Twitter.
It's true.
Yeah, this is it for this episode of IDOLEYEZ, but of course we have a segment called the worst pep talk ever, where I give the guest pep talk for 1 minute. It's always bad, but since it's episode 100 and since it's you, Alex Pinku, we're gonna go no limit. So I'm still gonna have the timer on. Yeah. Alex Pinku.
Special edition.
Howdy. Honestly, you're goddamn cool. And you do so much for the community, be it with Flair, be it solo, be it with Idol Gateway. I can't wait to see what Idol Gateway has in store for the future, for the next couple years. I can't wait to see, Flair and you solo form, whenever that may be, because every single time I watch the American Dream, well, the snippet of that, the Flair performance at Anikai, I want to go. I want to see you guys. But, West Coast sucks. Flight tickets suck. But whenever that may be, I want to see you guys. The album, In Silence, is probably the most unique thing that has been released in the Kaya Idol sphere. And can't wait for that maybe. In Silence is I really like concept album. So bad. Thank you so much. Big concept album. And what else is there to say? Keep on doing what you gotta do. I know it's been the Kaiga Idol scene has changed. Started from 2 years ago, from when I first interviewed you. Can't wait to see what you do, what everyone does, and yeah, honestly, keep going. That's all. Minute 34.
Promise. I will. I keep joking that I'll keep doing this until my body says I no longer can. And right now, we're doing okay. So.
That has been.
Thank you, Eggy. Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure. I feel honored that you asked me to be on the 100th episode. I constantly feel humbled in like the best way in being able to talk about the things that I love so much about this community and how special it is to me. So thank you. I appreciate it.
I really needed someone that is, I guess, a core part of the community. And it's been a while since we had you on. Episode 3.
True.
97 episodes ago. So, yeah.
That's crazy. It's like simultaneously like doesn't feel that long ago, but it also I'm like, I don't know, that was 100 years ago. That was a different guy.
Different person, a different me. It's like
Yeah.
even worse at asking questions and being interviewer.
But now 100 episodes in, you know, we all
okay.
improve.
A little bit. But you're awesome. Always. Especially in
Thank you.
episode 3, episode 100. Alex Pinko's cool.
I try very hard.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you tuned in for the stream, thank you guys for watching. If you tuned in for the VOD will be up tomorrow. 3 p.m. PST, 12 p.m. No, 3 p.m. EST, 12 p.m. And yeah, that'll be it. There won't be another IDOLEYEZ until start of August. I got stuff to do for 2 weeks on the East Coast. I can't go to Otakon.
Not Otakon.
Sadly, no Otakon.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll forgive you.
But yeah, honestly, 100 episodes. That's actually
Congrats, dude. That's awesome.
Hopefully, 100 more. I don't know about 100 more, but a little bit more, I'll do. Cause there's a lot of people. A lot of people that are due for an encore from like 2 years ago. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm still here. Alex Pinku's still here.
It's true.
We're
still doing it.
Are still cool. So.
Thank you guys for watching and showing up. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So that is it from me. That is it from Alex. Take care. For sure. This is Eggy Drago and Alex Pinku signing off for IDOLEYEZ 100. Oh my god. Bye bye.